Congress has just 1 week to prevent a government shutdown. But so far, lawmakers have not been able to come together. House Republicans canceled several votes on funding bills this week after they failed to gain enough support. Lawmakers have until next Friday at midnight to pass a bill before funding expires. So Scott MacFarlane is joining us now from Capitol Hill. Here we go again, Scott. The time is running out for the House to avoid a government shutdown. We knew that it would be down to the wire because A, that's the way it always is. B, they have a brand new speaker. So what will lawmakers on both sides of the aisle attempt to do next?
If it feels like we just talked about a government shutdown and the stomach punch it would give the economy, it's because we just talked about this in September. But back we are, 7 days till the deadline. They've got to get this done by next weekend, or else millions of federal workers could go without paychecks. There could be disruptions in some key government services so many people need, and it could really ding the stock market and all of our 401ks. So there are several proposals circulating in the U.S. House, none of which has got a critical mass of support, but one of which is going to have to be introduced in some way, shape, or form this weekend to get a vote in time, to get passed in time, to get rectified with the U.S. Senate in time. There are also proposals in the U.S. Senate, which likely will move early next week, but none of them has a critical mass of House members. And even though there's a new House Speaker, Mike Johnson of Western Louisiana, new to the job, new to leadership, with some form of a honeymoon period, Anne-Marie, there's no indication the fundamentals have changed. The same fundamentals which caused brinksmanship in September and will very likely, if not certainly, come close to the deadline, if not breach the deadline this time.
Yeah, I can hear the clock ticking on that honeymoon period. It's probably running out as we speak. And here's the thing, like this challenge of funding is what cost the last speaker his job, essentially. So this is a big test for the next speaker. What role is the new House Speaker trying to play in government funding talks?
He's going to have to corral the many factions inside the House Republican Conference, the same factions which ousted Kevin McCarthy a few weeks ago and threatened the paralysis that's slowing things down now. There are several proposals with all those Washington terms that we've come to know and love over the past few days. A laddered CR, I swear, it's called a laddered CR. It means passing some of the government spending bills now for a short period of time, passing another bunch that would expire later down the road. You don't want to know anything more than that because it's complex and it's intricate and it's causing some of the paralysis we're experiencing here. Really, there's just a fundamental. You're going to have to get both parties to sign off on anything that keeps the government open, and some of the hardliners inside the House Republican Conference don't want the new speaker or the last speaker to go too soft on the Democrats, and that's causing so much of this pernicious stalemate here in Washington.
All right, let's talk about something else. Yesterday we learned Democratic Senator Joe Manchin will not be seeking re-election. Geez, when I heard it, I wasn't quite sure exactly what it was going to mean for the Democrats, other than Joe Manchin is continuing to do what he's always done for the Democrats, which is cause consternation. What does it mean?
I've been covering Senator Manchin for decades, and this was not a surprise, but it sure was a bombshell. Senator Manchin faced a very uphill climb to win re-election next year. A Democrat in ruby red West Virginia, with among the Republican challengers the very popular Republican governor. So, with that political reality and with some type of pursuit of a next thing, Joe Manchin leaves. So what is that next thing going to be? Is he going to try a third-party independent run for the White House? I brought that question to somebody who knows him better than most, Hoppy Kercheval, a legend of West Virginia radio who's been covering Senator Manchin for quite a long time as well. Take a listen to our exchange.
He seemed like somebody who's ready to call it a career.
Not at all. This is a guy who wants to have 2 telephones going and wants to stay very, very busy. I cannot see him just saying, I'm done and walking away. He'd be bored by lunchtime.
No matter what Senator Manchin does next, this is just a huge defeat for Senate Democrats. They are about to write off the West Virginia Senate seat, and they can lose at most 1 seat and maintain the majority in the U.S. Senate. They'd have to win all across the map in some very tough races, Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Montana, and they'd have to win the White House again to keep the majority. This is tough news, even though it's not shocking news. Senator Manchin has been flirting with this for quite a while.
Really interesting. And before we let you go, got to ask you about one more senator, Tommy Tuberville. He's blocked military appointments over the Pentagon's abortion policy. They managed to get, I think, squeeze in 3 appointments with a process that's long and roundabout, and they don't want to have to do that for everyone else. So what's the latest here?
There was a hope, not an expectation, but a hope this would get rectified before Veterans Day. And it hasn't been. This will drag into next week at a minimum. There was an effort last night by Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia to try to force through some of those stalled nominations. It didn't work. Senator Tuberville continues to object, and Anne Marie, he's not explained or detailed any off-ramp. He's objecting to a Pentagon policy which allows for paid time off and paid travel services for any service member seeking abortion services out of state. Until there's some exit ramp, this persists, this continues, and as critics say, Anne Marie, this is hurting military readiness at a time of wars overseas.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, thank you very much.